All right, welcome back to Necessary Roughness. We're here with Trenton and Andy, and we are going to we're going to do a little recap of the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, and then we'll get into our preview of the conference championships. So, guys, what did you think of this weekend of football? What were your thoughts?
I thought some seriously good games. I thought some really bad quarterbacks play, some really good quarterback play. Really good slug fests here and there. I think it was all around good matchup for most of these games. I think we've been spoiled this playoffs, to tell you the truth. I mean, wild card was amazing. Divisional was amazing. I mean, there was a few, maybe one really bad game too, I guess, from this last weekend, if I'm really going to be honest. But I think we should just dive into it, man.
Yeah, Andy, what are your thoughts going in here real quick?
The Niners got their butts handed to them by my boy, Sam Darnold.
Who brought that one up? Let's start there. Let's start with that San Francisco-Seattle game.
Well, we had another earthquake recorded over there in Seattle. And I believe that little earthquake happened, 13 seconds into the game?
Yeah,
and that was pretty much all the rest of the game for the 49ers.
That was all she wrote.
After that, the Seahawks didn't need to score another point.
No, that was crazy. The opening kickoff, I mean, it was like he saw that lane open up and he just hit it and he was gone. It was like, wow, dude. Yeah. Opening kickoff, Raheed Shaheed, what a big pickup at the trade deadline. He was one of those trades they made. And man, that guy came in there. He's been electric for them since he came there. He looks like a great pickup for the Seattle Seahawks. I love it. I think he's got good chemistry with Darnold. He's big on special teams, like crazy game. That San Francisco team, I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of feel bad, dude. This team was so beat up throughout the year. They were missing so many key guys. And honestly, I was impressed they made it as far as they did with the injuries they were dealing with. I said it in the last episode. I think a lot of it is the coaching. It really shows me that, hey, like no matter who's out here, we're gonna have a chance in every game we're in, no matter what. And it's impressive. It's really impressive.
Well, I mean, honestly, this game, I think the 49ers punched above their weight class when they took out the Eagles. That was, they had some really good, phenomenal coaching, right time, trick play, and they just ended up catching magic in a bottle to beat the Eagles at home. I think they ended up going against a divisional opponent that ends up knowing you very, very well. They know your tendencies. They just beat you 2 weeks. What you're going to do, and then they have 2 weeks to prepare for you. So you're talking about that already going against you. You have 2 weeks to prepare. And I mean, besides the Texans, I thought this was the most complete team, right? They have a solid quarterback. They have really good receiving core, excellent run game. I mean, Charbonnet being out is really going to hurt that team.
Yeah,
I think a little bit, but Walker is just a stud. I mean, he went for 3 touchdowns in that game. And then you just it feels like Legion of Boom 2.0. I mean, I know we're talking, we've had a few instances in this podcast where we've talked about, history repeating itself. I mean, it seems like we got the evil empire back.
Yeah.
We got Legion of Boom 2.0. I mean, we got that vaunted Denver defense finally showing up again.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you got Matt the Rifle Stafford.
Right. It's crazy. That Seattle team, they are from top to bottom, they're just a sound unit. I mean, it's all over the field, dude. That defense is for real. It's crazy how many just great defenses there are in the league this year. Like, Houston's defense was great. They carried them as far as they could.
Well, if we're going to touch on that Houston defense, I mean, honestly, who would have thought with that kind of defense that the only thing holding you back is a quarterback?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, you look at that game, you look at the turnovers, and you wouldn't really know it because the score wasn't that lopsided, but it just felt like every time the Texans got the ball, they couldn't do anything with it. And I mean, most of the points New England ended up beating you with was from your own pick sixes. Like, that defense was
it 4 picks in the first half?
4 picks in the first half. It was awful. And I mean, you're talking about a Texans team, like this thing could have flipped on a dime for the New England Patriots because Drake May fumbled the ball, 6 times? He was lucky that the ball just kept happening to bounce to his own guys. It just felt like New England magic again, where it's just the evil empire and the ball just finds a way to bounce their way. It's the tuck rule that goes their way. It's this bounce goes your way. It dinks off the post just right. You fumble the ball and your guy's head's out of bounds, and it's considered it's an out of bounds ball because of it. It's just, you look at the past of New England, it just feels like the evil empire magic is just kind of flowing again.
Yeah. Back to that Seattle game real quick. I just want to say one more thing. Like Darnold has looked really good. Last year in Minnesota, I know you've talked about it. Like last year in Minnesota, he played great. Yes, he fell apart in the playoffs, but dude, that'll happen. I mean, the guy played great all year. I think Minnesota really, really messed up letting that guy go, because I think he's in Seattle to stay. He's gonna have a good career in Seattle.
Yeah. I think he got his playoff whooping last year out of his system, and okay, I'm here. Let's go.
Right, exactly. And I think it was good for him, because the guy's never been able to have any success. I mean, look at the teams he's been on in his career. Yeah.
The Jets, the Panthers, then he goes to the 49ers for a stint, and then over to the Vikings. And it's like, this is the Vikings was the real first opportunity that he had to actually be with a good team, be in that kind of situation. And it just it didn't work his way last year.
Right.
And this year, it just seems like he kind of put those demons to bed. Like, all right, this is what I did wrong last year, and here's the mistakes I learned from it. And this year is just completely different. Like, and on top of it, the great thing that he's got rolling for him this year, and hopefully for the foreseeable future, is that defense. That is a solid defense.
Unreal.
So he knows in the back of his mind, he really doesn't have to make all these spectacular plays. And I mean, you really don't have to when the first play of the game goes for a touchdown for your team. Like, all right, we're already up 7. Now it's just time to keep on keeping on.
Basically, he's got to do just enough. That defense is going to do the rest. You know, he's got to sustain some drives, get some points on the board, and then the defense is just going to basically shut down the other team.
Yeah, he's got to exactly. He's got to do more game managing than anything. Just manage the game. Don't have crazy turnovers. Don't make stupid mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. As long as he doesn't do like Stroud did this last game, both of those two defenses were so phenomenal this year. I mean, once in a generation, and we got 2 teams that have it in like a once in a generation defense. And it's a heartbreaker that the Texans couldn't do anything because of the quarterback play. But then you got Darnold on the flip side, who did this. He had mistakes last year. He suffered the last three weeks of the season, cost you guys your playoff run. He also cost you guys the first seed. This year, he has the exact same situation, and he ends up clinching the number 1 seed. And now you're playing at home. You're also playing with this vaunted defense. I just think he's got a lot going for him, and this is a really, really complete team. I mean, button down, head to toe. I think the NFC West is the best, the cream of the crop in the NFL, and I think this next matchup's going to be good, but I think the Seattle Seahawks are probably the best team that I've seen here in the last 10 plus years. I mean, this is a solid team.
Yeah. Since we already kind of went over to it, let's talk about that New England Houston game a little more. CJ Stroud 4 interceptions in the first half. I was kind of surprised they didn't turn to Davis Mills. I think Davis Mills, if I was Houston, I would probably be looking at starting that guy next year. He's been a really good quarterback since they drafted him, and he got that backup spot to CJ Stroud. And I don't know. I think going forward, I would give him another shot and see what he's got, because I think Davis Mills would have. Yeah, I mean, obviously, with the 4 turnovers, they should have been in a bigger hole than they were. And the fact that they weren't down by 21 points or 24 points.
Well, that defense had them still in the game. I mean, it felt like it was just a field goal kind of game at that point. Like, this defense was that good. And I mean, I agree with you 100%. Like, you can look at it and go, well, CJ Stroud has also turned it on really well. Maybe he's going to be Trevor Lawrence of old, where he throws the first 4 picks and then he ends up turning it around and beating the Chargers in the playoffs. But I think if you're going to look at that and you're going to say, well, maybe he's going to flip it around. Well, you look at last week. He suffered significantly against the Steelers and kept turning the ball over. So what makes you think that he's just going to suddenly flip this switch and become superhero?
Right.
Like, hey, give him a break. Let's put Mills in, see what he's going to do, because Mills was doing solid work. And really all you needed for the Texans defense was quit turning the ball over and we're going to clutch this game up. And you just kept doing it.
Well, and I think another thing that people weren't talking about enough was the fact that their number one receiver was out with a concussion. Nico Collins didn't play in that game, and that is a big loss. But that doesn't account for the 4 interceptions. Like, yeah, you lost your number one target. I know Schultz was hurt as well. I think he got hurt in that game.
Yep.
So I mean, he was down 2 big targets for him, and that sucks. But you still can't throw 4 interceptions in the first half. Like, it's just it blew my mind.
But even at that, like, let's go back to what was it, the first quarter. I mean, that touchdown that they had that got called back, that was just straight up Stroud not paying attention to his tight end, not on the ball, and then putting your other man in motion. Like, if you don't get that illegal formation, you're talking about, what was the end score of this game? 16 to 28.
16,
so you're talking about still a touchdown game, a few point game at that point in time, and you would have probably been tied with the New England Patriots, and you would have had a lot better confidence going into the second half. Like, all right, we're really right neck and neck with these guys, and we've had an awful first half.
Right.
And it just costs you. It just goes to show that every point in this game in the NFL is so, so important. And when you keep making mental errors and you do something dumb, it costs you. It costs you big time.
But you got any final thoughts on that Houston New England game, Andy?
Yeah, this might be unpopular opinion, but I think it's time Houston steps away or separates from Stroud.
Yeah,
he's already proven he can't handle playoffs.
Yeah,
this year he freaking flopped. The year before he flopped again, or before whatever.
Well, I mean, you look at last year. I don't really think he flopped last year. I mean, you look at that game and he took the Chiefs to the brink, and I mean, honestly, I feel like the big difference in that game was just the Zebras. So he could have been in an AFC Championship game in his 3rd year. So this is his 4th year, correct?
I can't remember,
because I believe his first year he ended up losing when the Ravens went to the AFC Championship. I think he missed the 2nd year, and then the 3rd year he took the Chiefs to the brink, and then this year. So I believe this is CJ's 4th year. So it's like, yeah, he's also not really done anything, but he's also proven that he does have moments of spectacularness. So I have to give the credit to the New England Patriots as well. Like, there's a reason why they were causing those turnovers. Those guys were humming and buzzing. So
their defense is really good.
Yeah, they have a solid defense. So I mean, Davis Mills could have had the same performance. I mean, you could be talking about, instead of just the 4 turnovers, we have double just because Mills is getting it the second half. Like, that team was ready to go. They had their ears pinned back. They had a really good, solid game plan for Stroud, and it just seemed like they kept hitting him enough that it got into his head where, I mean, it just seemed like he had open guys and he was skipping balls, and he was looking over his shoulder like, oh, are you about to hit me again? Like, ooh, I don't need that. Like, so I do see some of the point where, you know, like the first year he ran into the Ravens, and that was the year we ended up going to the AFC Championship, losing to the Chiefs. But I mean, they really didn't have very much hope that year. They didn't have the kind of defense that they had this year. I really hope they can run it back with this defense, and then maybe, you know, Stroud gets another shot at this thing where, let's see really if he's the guy or if he's not. And if you don't believe he's the guy, then you got to start playing your Davis Mills. You got to start finding another guy for him. But I think, you know, CJ Stroud has really brought this franchise back. I mean, this is why people have been talking about him as a good playoff team for the last 4 years, is because him and Ryans, DeMeco, come in and they flip this team around. So you're talking about still a kind of green head coach and a really green quarterback. I mean, I hate to give him the comparison, but it's, if you're going to give him we got to boot him out of Texas because of this performance, then what about Josh Allen? You can't have 4 turnovers in a championship style game. Like, I mean, he's done this multiple years, and it seems like everyone just keeps giving him the pass. Well, he's so good. And he is. He's a great talent. But I get your point if you're going to say, well, Josh Allen's asked to be Superman and CJ Stroud wasn't. But at the same point, he's still a quarterback. He's still going to make mistakes. And you're talking about the cream of the crop. Like, this is the top of the league. So you're playing the best defenses and the best offenses. And this just happened to come to The best defense in the league, I honestly believe, was the Texans, and I think a close second was the Seahawks. But that offense just wasn't firing. They missed some good pieces, and it ended up costing them. And then Stroud just falling apart there. It's not what you want. I mean, but you only have so many playoff games. It's not like you can build that kind of experience unless you've been in it a lot. I mean, look at Peyton Manning. What did he go? 0-3 his first few years, and then he finally get on a run.
Yeah.
Like, you can't hold these playoff games against these guys. If they're going to kill it during the regular season, you got to ride the arm that got you there.
Yeah. I think New England looks solid. They're a very well-rounded team. Houston had a great defense, but CJ Stroud, like you said, the 4 interceptions, it's too much to overcome. Even a defense like that, like we saw him overcome it with Pittsburgh. In Pittsburgh, someone had to win the AFC North. They got in, like I said in the last episode, by default. So we kind of knew, like, no matter what, Houston's probably going to move on. But I definitely didn't see him getting past this round just because of that. I thought, and me and Los talked off camera about this, and I told him, I feel like CJ Stroud's going to have another really bad game, and I'm not saying that because I don't like the guy or anything. I'm just saying I just don't see it happening. So it ended up being that way. New England won that one 28-16. Obviously we already talked about Seattle, but Seattle ended up winning 41-6. That was a blowout.
I mean, honestly, it felt like those two were probably the ugliest games of the weekend.
Oh yeah.
It was just a straight steamrolling over in Seattle. Just complete. We're gonna beat you, drag you the entire way, and then New England Houston was just. It was ugly because it was just a defensive battle, and it just happened to not be CJ Stroud's day. So I don't hold that against him. I hope you can go after him next year, young buck, and get after it and figure out your offense, and maybe they'll get you some more talent around you, and you actually get a good push going. Because that, if you guys can keep that defense around, I mean, we're talking about you guys had a chance at a Super Bowl this year, and I'm hungry to see you guys do something with it.
So let's get into these 2 overtime games. Let's start with the Denver-Buffalo one. Had some pretty weird calls in this game. Obviously, with
weird calls, you say,
with the Bo Nix injury at the end, like that kind of, I mean, that's pretty demoralizing for the Broncos. It was a weird game because Denver. I felt like watching that game. Denver probably should have won. They shouldn't have never made it to overtime. Like you said, Josh Allen turned the ball over numerous times. That fumble, it was a weird play. I don't even know what was going on. He tried to scramble for it. Yeah, he tried to scramble, and I don't know if he was trying to reach out for the first down or out of bounds. I don't really know what was going on there.
But some sort.
Yeah, it looked like he just kind of like lobbed the ball, and it was like, what is he doing?
It kind of looked like the Mark Andrews fumble we had earlier in the season, where like across the field, and you're like, what the heck? And the ball's on the ground. So
that ended up creating like a 10-point swing because Denver had just scored a touchdown. He fumbles it. I don't even know if they ran a play. I think they just went out and kicked the field goal. They were close enough.
Yeah.
Like,
and it was so close to half that they
let's
run the rest of the clock out and just get the extra 3 points off of this. I mean, I don't think there was very much time left on it, but it goes back to Buffalo. I think their GM needs to go. I think this guy needs to be fired because how do you have a Superman at a quarterback? He's a great quarterback, but he's never going to win it unless you give him some talent around him. You've got him a decent enough offensive line, and then he just really doesn't have anyone to throw the ball to. So what's he's doing? He's trying to throw into the tight windows, and he's trying to run the ball and be Superman and make these plays. And that's what that play felt like. He was just trying to do way too much, and he shouldn't have. I mean, this is like Lamar Jackson kind of stuff where it's just you need to play the game that's in front of you, and sometimes you just take the lick. You take the 4-yard gain that you got and quit. Like, you try to do too much with it, you get too fancy with it, and now the ball's on the ground, and it's an extra 3 points for this team. And then he had I'll give him 4 turnovers. I mean, 1 fumble and 3 interceptions, but the 1 interception, I'm a little iffy on that one. That was
yeah, what the hell's a catch anymore, guys?
Well, I mean, that's the thing in the NFL. Nobody knows what a catch is, but the NFL knows, and they make the decisions. I mean, ask Cowboys fans, ask Seahawks fans. I mean, you just look at this, and it's a catch one day, and it's not a catch the other. It just depends on the NFL crew and what they're going to call that day. So one really didn't bother me because the game still wasn't over. The thing that bothered me was, you could argue this, Zach, and I see your point, is I think this game was very well officiated because they really held their whistles back the entire game. It felt like they kind of just let the boys play. And if you're not going to call the holding on the Bills in the end zone that could have ended the game in a safety, then why are you calling 2 pass interferences at the end of the game for the Broncos? Like, you're letting these boys play. Let's just let it play out. And I felt like the Broncos were still going to march down the field with or without that play. So why give them the 2 pass interferences to get them that close to the goal line? It just made no sense to me.
Yeah, it was weird officiating. I
mean, it was clear as day, complete holding. Like, that game should have ended with that safety there. I mean, I'm sure you saw the photos of it, but it's like, if you're not going to call that as a ref, then you got to suck your whistle and not make a call when it comes to those defensive pass interferences. And it's like, why are we interfering now in the game and giving 2 back-to-back and getting you right next to the goal line?
Yeah, the interception at the end, I don't know on that. I guess I don't understand what is considered a catch and what isn't. We've had this argument for years now. I mean, going back to the Des Bryant thing, like you brought up with the Cowboys, like, I don't know what a catch is, and I don't think the league really knows either. And we've tried making these rules to define what a catch is, where you've got to, possess the ball and you've got to take the 2 steps and make a football move. And like, but what is a football move? Is that 2 steps? Did he possess the ball on the first step? So did the 3rd step count as the 2nd step? And it's just like, dude, like, well, and then on top of common sense. Let's use common sense. Was it a catch or not? Did the guy have possession of the ball when he went to the ground? Yes. Okay. And when he went to the ground, was he being contacted? Yes. Okay. Then he's down. Like, that to me is what defines a catch, and what I saw, and I'm a Broncos fan. Obviously, I'm glad my Broncos won. After the fact, knowing that Bo Nix is now out, I kind of wish Buffalo would have won because I'd like to see Josh Allen go and win a Super Bowl. I would like to see that. Obviously, I still believe in my Broncos. I think Jared Stidham's a great backup quarterback. I think we still have a shot. Well, we've seen this happen.
Nick Foles did it, so.
Exactly. We've seen this happen. Nick Foles came in and won a Super Bowl. Is it likely? No, probably not.
Well, with that defense, it is.
Is it possible?
I honestly
Absolutely.
think so.
Exactly. But my thought on the catch thing, like, I don't want to see my team win on a play like that, because to me, he caught that ball. He went down to the ground. He was down. As he went down, there was contact. That's down. As the players rolled over and the player comes out with the ball, the Bronco player comes out with the ball. It's like, hold up, what just happened? So then you start looking at it and they're telling us these still pictures, this and that. It's like, I'm not seeing it, guys. What I'm seeing is a guy, Brandon Cooks, caught the ball and went to the ground with possession of the ball. He's down.
And when you have this much controversy, it means 90% of the fans who were watching this thought it was a catch live. They thought that was a Cooks catch. And I mean, like, you can't tell me that they have this definite idea of what a touchdown is, because you look. So like you said, Des Bryant catch. You have the Calvin Johnson that could have been a 1-15 season instead of a perfect losing season for the Lions, but they ruled that one not a catch. I mean, you have the Isaiah Likely touchdown that should have been this year because you have 2 feet down in the end zone, but the guy punches the ball out, so we're going to overturn that one. Like, what kind of rules do we have here? Like, do we just have made up whatever the ref on the field decides is going to be? It's going to be, and then immediately you have. You're listening to that game and you listen to Tony Romo and he's like, I think that was a catch. What do you think? And then Gene Sterators, no, that was definitely a turnover. Well, how can that be a turnover? I mean, you're both fighting for the ball. He's got a knee down and then he rolls and then you're rolling with the other guy and then the ball gets ripped out of your arms. Like, well, you got to survive the ground. Well, it never touched the ground. It touched the other touched the defender's arm while he's ripping it out of your chest. Anytime, I thought the rule was if it's a 50-50 ball like that and you both go to the ground, it goes to the offense. Yeah. So what made the NFL decide that this year is going to be different? It's 50-50.
They didn't even review it.
They didn't review it. Was the
Sean McDermott even took it. Well, it was in the 2-minute warning, so he couldn't challenge it, but he took another timeout just to give him a little extra longer to actually, hey, you guys need to review this. Right. And then they just moved on like business as usual.
But then the very next night, Right. No, go ahead, say it.
I mean, they didn't even freaking review it.
Yeah.
To make sure that it was an actual interception. That to me, it just seems like this shit's getting scripted more and more every year. The NFL already has who they want to freaking win, and that now they're catering to like who they have winning or want to win. It just seemed like those two calls at the end of the game. It's like you weren't calling the shit at all during the entire game, and then all of a sudden when it matters most, now you call two bullshit pass interference calls to get them right up to to kick a chip shot. It's like, come on.
Yeah, you swallowed your whistle all game. And I mean, the NFL's walked into this thing because you're going to have the scripted conversation. I mean, it's coming up more and more here. And I mean, you doing some research on this. Like the NFL's got part of ESPN, right? And if ESPN's got a sports betting thing, what is the NFL going to do in order to make sure they're getting more money? They're going to hedge their bets like, oh, well, if the money's on Buffalo, we got to make sure the Broncos are winning. And I hope that's not the case. I hope that these games are played out fair. But when you get some egregious calls like the end of the Super Bowl with the Chiefs and the Eagles, and you're going to call holding and let the Chiefs walk away and win this game, when you get this call at the end of the game, and you haven't called penalties really all game long, and then you're going to call two blatant defensive pass interferences that shouldn't have been called. You've been letting the boys play all day. This is the standard that you've given these guys to play. So, I mean, if you were to call these early, do you think these would have been pass interferences later in the game? No, these guys would have adjusted. But you let them play the game entirely until you're ready to, all right, now we're going to swing this thing to our rigging standard. And, I mean, I feel bad for the Broncos fans because this was a great year. But for some reason, I mean, looking back at this, like, I don't know about you, Zach. I don't know about you, Andy, but it felt like, all right, yeah, everyone's talking. This is the year because Josh Allen finally didn't win it. But what was going on at the beginning of the season that everyone was so hyped up on the Broncos? The Broncos are going to win the Super Bowl. The Broncos this. I thought you guys were a really good team. I thought you guys were a great team, a playoff team. I don't know about Super Bowl aspirations right out the gate. I mean, Bo Nix still had a lot to prove. This defense was moving in a good direction, so you knew you guys were going to hang in on most of these games. But then you're going to have these question marks in the NFL where is this thing really getting scripted now in front of you? Like, it feels like the Chiefs made so many Super Bowls. I mean, the most fraudulent 15-win team that I've ever seen in my life, and then go to a Super Bowl and get smacked in the mouth because why? All of a sudden, last year, the refs call one penalty at the gate, and then, oh, we're going to stop and let the Chiefs and Eagles play ball, and then they got punched, and they got rolled, and the Eagles ran over them. Well, is this scripted, or what is going on? I mean, it's very, very hard for me as a fan who's loved watching this game. I mean, early 2000s where you're letting people get mauled, and you're just playing good football, and it really felt like they were just letting the boys play. Now it's just constant rule, and the officiating. It feels like the NBA of old where you're going to find out some scandals are going to be happening here.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, the thing that kind of made me really, like I said, obviously I'm glad the Broncos won. I'm a Broncos fan, but I never want to see my team win on a call like that. I don't know what the right call is because, again, like I said, I don't know what a catch is and what isn't because it seems like it's different every time. Then you go to the next night and you get to that LA Chicago game, and we had a very similar situation with Devontae Adams, and that one was ruled a catch and down. And so it just seems odd. Like how does that add up where in a span of 2 nights, a Saturday and a Sunday, and we see pretty much the same play, not exactly the same play, but the same situation, and one is called one way and one's called the other way. It's just odd. I don't know what.
Even to balance your point, you look at that pass interference. Look at that crazy, amazing touchdown that Caleb Williams had. He pushed off on that. It could have been a pass interference, and the refs didn't call that one. So it's like, how are we playing these games where you have, like you said, mirror images of each other? Where it's the Broncos we're going to call 2 pass interferences to end this game, and then the Bears is, if you're going to call a pass interference, he's in the end zone. Caleb Williams just scampered back to the 40-yard line and heaved this thing for his dear life and scores a touchdown. But you can clearly see that they pushed the defender off of him. Like, that should be pass interference if I've ever seen it.
Right.
But we're not going to talk about that because it was such a great play. We're going to swallow our whistles. Well, if you let them do that in this game, why didn't you do that when you were doing it all game long in Mile High?
Right. On that Chicago. Okay, let's go back. So Denver ended up winning in overtime, 33-30. It was a really good game, but just one last note for me on that one. I kind of felt like that game should have never been in overtime. With the turnovers and stuff, Denver should have won that game by 10 to 17 points.
Well, and honestly,
didn't go that way.
The Bills should have won this game handily. If he wouldn't turn the ball over the 4 times, I'm not giving him the last one. Sorry, I don't think that one should go against Allen. But if he wouldn't have turned the ball over the other 4 times, like, we're talking about a different game. This Bills team would have been a lot more rolling of this team. So again, I think the blame has to fall on Josh Allen on this one. Like, I get it. You're trying to be Superman. You're trying to be the hero of Buffalo, and your GM and your coach really, that's where your offense goes through. But sometimes, Allen, like, especially in these situations, I mean, how many years in a row has this been? 6, 7? Like, you keep getting into these situations, and then, 6, 7, huh, kids? But,
Sorry, I have a teenage daughter.
But you look at these years, and it seems like it keeps ending horrendously for the Bills. Like, you even have rule changes for this team. Like, oh, well, they didn't get a chance to possess the ball against the Chiefs. They had too many turnovers or this and that. And it's like, you had so many reasons to win. You have a quarterback that can do it. I honestly think this is more of a condemnation on their staff up front. The ownership needs to go in and say, what the heck? I mean, they already got rid of McDermott, but if you're not serious about winning, which it seems like they're not, then you need to start gutting the GM. You need to find you a GM like the Eagles got. You need to find you a GM that's going to go out and get the players. I mean, look at the Colts. When they knew that they were going to be a Super Bowl contender, what did they do? They went out and got defensive players, and then the rest of their season kind of went to trash. But
but that was injuries and stuff.
If you're the Bills, you already knew you were going to win this division. You were going to win the division, or you had a good enough record that you were going to be a wild card team, and they were a wild card team. So why didn't you put the money where your mouth was? This is our year. You already saw the Chiefs going down the garbage can. Like, this is your year to strike. What are you doing? You're not giving your guy, the superhero, the superhuman, the alien, Josh Allen, any other weapons. You're not giving him anything to go with.
The problem is they haven't really given him anything his whole career. I mean, he's got James Cook. James Cook is a great running back. I really like James Cook. But they're just expecting too much from Allen. The defense wasn't good this year. The O-line didn't really hold up that well. He's never had a number 1 receiver. I mean, Gabe Davis was good the first go around when he was there. He's had some decent tight ends, but he's never had a number 1 receiver. Even when they brought Stephon Diggs in, I mean, he wasn't really playing that well there, and then he got hurt. So it's kind of like, that just, I don't know. I don't think they're doing enough for Allen, and I think they're wasting his potential. And the biggest problem I have with it is Allen's going to be 30 next year. And what happens to these quarterbacks when they get to that age? Like, the biggest comparison I can come up with, and I'm not comparing their games, but I'm comparing more of like their size and the running that they do, the type of running that they do, is Cam Newton. And when you look at Cam Newton's career, at 30 years old, he fell off a cliff. And it's no fault to him. He was a great quarterback. He had a great career. But when you take that kind of beating, you take that over so many years, eventually your body just diminishes, and he couldn't hold up anymore.
Well, not only that, but it's not like Cam Newton's not like a Phillip Rivers where you're constantly pocket passer, so all you got to do is have a cannon for an arm. He was getting all his plays by, I got to be able to run around and sprint, and I make plays out of nothing. And you got these quarterbacks that, how long can you do that? Right. How long can you be a Fran Tarkenton in this league, and I'm going to sprint around and run around and make a play and make something happen? Like, if you're constantly diving in head first into tackles, what are you talking about? Josh Allen's eventually going to get beat up to the point where he can't do anything. Like, he's going to get himself hurt. He's going to get himself beat up. His body's not going to last that long. You only have this short window. And I feel like the Bills are just kind of following Big Brother Patriots, where it's, oh, well, we can do exactly what they did and we don't have to have a good wide receiving core. And look what happened when they finally got Randy Moss. Like maybe you should try to go ahead and get yourself a number one, a really good number. Give you a 1A and a 1B and see what happens with this team. You're going to win a Super Bowl if you do that.
Yeah.
And maybe you're waiting until the new stadium is dropped. I mean, I don't know what your game plan is in Buffalo, but going through Josh Allen 24/7 is not your ticket. Like, it's proven itself every year that something's going to happen where defense is going to recognize Josh Allen's the guy. We're going to spy on him and we're going to stop him. And he's eventually going to make the mistakes and give us the ball. And that's exactly what happens.
All right, let's jump over. Let's finish up with the LA Rams and Chicago game. So that one ended in overtime. It was 20-17. The Rams ended up winning it. It ended up being a really good game. Chicago almost did it again. I mean, this team, they're resilient, man. They just, in the fourth quarter, it's like the team just comes alive. And I mean, I don't know. It was a really fun game to watch. The Rams ended up winning, which I think the better team ended up winning this game. I think the Bears are a very good team, but I think the Bears are going to be really scary next year.
I honestly don't agree. I think the better team didn't win. And this kind of goes back to an conversation that we had before, but Ben Johnson is part of the Dan Campbell coach tree. And when you decide to not go for 3 field goals, you're talking about that's a complete game changer for you guys. You guys had this game in the palm of your hand and you kept going for it and you kept not getting the plays. I mean, what were you, 1 for 5 on 4th down? Like, you gotta be smart with the ball. Take the points where you can. You're talking about, what did this thing end with? A field goal difference? You're talking about you would have been up by 9 points. I mean, you wouldn't have had to gone for that crazy Hail Mary at the end. The Rams would have been struggling to score on you guys. Like, I think the pass at the end where Williams threw the interception, from what I keep hearing from the media, at least, it sounds like it was a very new concept and Moore wasn't really sure how to run the route. And that's kind of why it ended in that interception. But you look at it, it was like they were marching down the field and it just didn't seem like the Rams had an answer until the ball was in their lap. Yeah. And then they were just rewarded it. And it was just, all right. And then even after that, they couldn't really do anything except for barely get across the 40-yard line. And then we're going to kick this thing with Thicker the kicker's leg. And we're going to move on to play the Seahawks next week.
Yeah. And do you have any final thoughts on the Bears and Rams game, Andy?
Like I was telling you guys, you can't count out Matthew Stafford.
You were right, man.
He's,
you called
a veteran, and he showed it.
Yeah, and he is. He's that's why I say I think the better team won. Is I think, like I said, before in the other shows, was the Rams are the more veteran team. A lot of these guys have been there. They've done that. They just, to me, they seemed like the better team this year in this specific matchup. I think they were just they're more built and more ready to go on in the playoffs because the Bears are still a little younger, new coach, like they're still kind of learning what Ben Johnson's all about. Obviously, like you said, with the skipping the field goals, trying to go for it, like this guy brings a different type of mentality. And I think this team, like I said, next year, man, I would be really scared of the Bears next year because another year of Caleb Williams with Ben Johnson, another year of that defense, like that team's gonna come back. A lot of these guys are gonna stay there.
I don't know. I mean,
I have faith.
I have faith in this Bears team, but that NFC North is just a division. It seems like every year it's a brand new winner. It just feels like it's just whoever ends up getting the weird odd punch in the season ends up going on. I mean, you're talking about heavily favored this year Lions team that everyone thought was going to do something, and then they fall off and go 9-8. The Vikings last year are a 14-win team who gets the wild card spot, and they go 9-8. Then you have the Packers, and then you have the Bears in it. I mean, nobody had the Bears picked at the beginning of the season to win the division.
No, absolutely not.
I think it's exciting for Bears fans, and I'm really excited for you guys. I mean, I hope you guys can figure out where you're going to call your new home, or at least try to stay in Soldier Field, because I think, for that particular aspect of this, I think staying in the Chicago area is key for you guys. Like, that's where your home is. The Chicago Bear. I mean, the Gary Bears, I don't know about that. And
sounds stupid.
Yeah, like maybe going up to Arlington, you're still in the Chicago area, you're still going to have your fan base, but that's where everybody knows and loves you guys. I mean, it's going to be what it's going to be, but I every time I picture Chicago, I think of gritty, hard-nosed Bear football, and it just felt like this defense was finally on point with the Bears, where they're finally making those kind of plays, and the offense is something they've never really had. I mean, not since Walter Payton. I mean, this just seemed like they were finally on a run where they're going to do the dang thing, and then found a way to lose because you come from the Dan Campbell coaching tree, and sometimes 3 points is a lot better than no points.
It's true.
Especially when it comes to the playoffs.
Yep.
And
you got to take points when you can get
You have to take them when you can
you
get them.
You can tack on an extra field goal. I mean, you're talking
like
about...
You're saying 9 points.
The Lions end up beating the 49ers. The Patriots don't come back against the Falcons in the Super Bowl 28-3. You're talking about huge swings just because of a kicker's leg and you going for the kick. Sometimes it's more noble just to get the points. And yeah, it sucks. You biting at the bit and you're trying to be the next Kurt Cignetti, where, man, we went for it on 4th down and we ended up getting the thing. Sometimes it's cool to go for it. Sometimes you just got to be smart with it and know what the game's doing in front of you. And that was one of those games. I mean, the Rams game just felt like one of them gritty games was going to come down to a field goal. And that's sure enough what it did. So what are you doing trying to force the issue? It wasn't like you guys were scoring touchdown. It was 10 points for most of the game, 10 all. And then the very fourth quarter is when the points started going off again. Right. And you knew it was going to be a gritty, hard-nosed fought battle, and you could have had 9 extra points on the board, or at least attempted 9 points on the board.
Yeah. Let's move on to this conference round. So we got the AFC Championship, NFC Championship is set. We've got on the NFC side, we got the LA Rams versus the Seattle Seahawks. It's going to be in Seattle, so they're playing at home again. Obviously, they got the number 1 seed. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Nobody wants to go to Seattle and play. This is a division game. Again, we get another one. I'm just gonna say this right out. I'm gonna get ahead of it here. I don't see the Rams getting through Seattle. I think Seattle's defense is way too good. I think Darnold's gonna play well. I think losing Charbonnet is gonna hurt. But Kenneth Walker has proven time and time again, when he's healthy, he can carry that team. And that defense, I don't see the Rams moving the ball very well against this defense. I think they're going to move it somewhat here and there, but I just don't see them getting any kind of consistent offense going. And it's going to really, really push them into a corner. And Seattle, I'm not going to say they're going to blow them out like they did the 49ers. That game was injury prone, or, the 49ers were injury prone. They were missing a lot of guys. They had even more guys go down in that game. That game got out of hand. It was ugly. I don't see this one getting quite like that, but I definitely think Seattle's going to win. I'm going to say by at least 2 scores. I think it's going to be 10-17.
I think it's going to be a field goal game. And the reason why,
you think so?
The reason why is I think Seattle's a really complete team. I do. But division rivals, man.
They're weird.
Rivals are just weird. And I mean, you look at the way they played each other twice this season. And I mean, yes, the Seahawks got some serious rest. They have the best. I mean, they're all around the best team that I have seen come into the playoffs. And I see right now they are the best all around team. They have really good play at quarterback, really good receiving core, solid run game, great special teams, and an even better defense. But it just seems like these division rivals, you can throw the record out the window, you can throw the schemes out the window because they know each other best. You're playing them twice a year. This isn't a surprise game for them. This is our 3rd matchup. I mean, I don't know if I can see a 2-score game. You just blew out the 49ers and they play you 3 times a year. It wasn't like where the 49ers ended up winning the first game of the season and then it was the Seahawks just putting their thing down on the last game of the season. And then this last game was just the 49ers need to draft an ambulance because their team is just getting riled with injuries. And this Rams team, I mean, they seem to have some injuries, but like we've said, they have veteran quarterback. They have veteran receivers. They have veteran line. They have people who've been to a Super Bowl before. And not only that, they know how to play the Seahawks well in Seattle. They know how to play the Seahawks well at home. They know how to play them on the road. I don't think this game is going to get too out of hand. And if it does, well, I'm glad to be wrong. But I just think this one's going to be a tough fought game. Maybe 7 points, maybe 3, but it's going to be like a 1-score game by the end of it.
Yeah. Andy, what are your thoughts on this one? What do you see happening here?
Yeah, I agree with Trenton. I think it's going to be a close game, either a field goal or maybe even a touchdown. But I have Seattle coming out on top.
Okay.
That defense, and Darnold's going to have a solid game. I think. Kenneth Walker's going to probably run all over the field. That O-line bust holes for him, and he's super fast. He's just an athlete. I think he'll probably have a touchdown or 2.
Yeah, I could see him going for 2 touchdowns in this one. Yeah.
I think Darnold will probably throw for maybe a touchdown. He probably won't have a lot of passing yards, but he'll have to do like just enough, sustain some drives, keep his defense off the field.
Yeah.
And then I think once that defense gets enough adequate rest, the Rams are in trouble. But then again, you can't count out Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
And then he's got Devontae Adams healthy.
Right.
He's a hell of a receiver.
You got Puka Nacua who's killing it all season.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, and you said it last time too. I mean, you can never count Stafford out, and I agree with that. He's proven time and time again he's one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen, and I really do feel that way. I think if he plays well against this defense, they definitely have a really good shot at beating them. I just personally, my pick, I don't see the Rams winning this game. Obviously, I said I see Seattle by 10, maybe 10 to 17. And like I said, I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout. 10 to 17, I don't really consider that a blowout because sometimes you score one right at the end and it just puts you over that. Yeah, but I really do think the Seattle defense is just too much to handle. I don't think Stafford's going to get a lot of time. I don't think Stafford's going to get many open looks, and I think he's going to start forcing the ball. I don't think he'll throw nearly as many interceptions as we've seen some other quarterbacks do in these playoffs, but I think he'll definitely make a few
CJ
mistakes. but yeah, I mean, you think Walker goes for 2 touchdowns in this one? Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
I can see it happening. Either 1 or 2.
There's a reason they call him Walker the Third.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I've always been a big fan of Stafford. Watching him.
Oh, me too.
When he was with the Lions all those years, going up against the Vikings twice a year, it's like he's a good quarterback. He really is. And then when he left the Lions and went to the Rams, he won that Super Bowl. It's like he is a great quarterback.
Oh, absolutely. And that Super Bowl really cemented him as a great quarterback. If he could go out and get another one before he retires, I mean, because let's face the facts, we're getting to the end of Stafford here.
Yeah, we are.
He's had back injuries. Yeah. He's had some stuff. I mean, he's obviously
he have a
older.
Neck injury or something going on with his neck.
I think it was related to the back injury.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe he had issues with his neck. I'm not positive on that, but I think you're right. But no, I mean he's getting older, man. He's only he might only have a few more years. So if he can get one more, I think that really cements him as like an all-time great, Well,
I mean, you're talking about what? You're now in the conversation with Peyton Manning, who's got 2 Super Bowls.
Same with Eli.
Eli Manning, 2 Super Bowls. I mean, you hear all the time that Rodgers is his vaunted quarterback and he's great. He's only got 1 Super Bowl.
Right.
I mean, Joey Flacco, he's only got 1 Super Bowl.
Favre's got 1.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Brent Favre went to 2, got 1. Like, even just getting there is a huge notch. I mean,
oh, absolutely.
So if you can end up, and you're talking about Sean McVay, who's still got a bitter taste from, I'm sure, from not being able to put up any points with Goff and lose to the Patriots in his first Super Bowl that he goes to, and then he finally wins the one. All right, now he wants to be 2 for 3. I mean,
right.
You're talking about a guy who's so close he can taste it now. And last year kind of, I'm sure, felt the same way for him. That team was right there. I mean, they seemed like the only team that had an answer for the Eagles, and then they pushed him to the brink. But Barkley was just unstoppable last year.
Yeah, Barkley was in another world last year. It was crazy. But all right, let's jump over the AFC side. So we got Denver versus New England. It's in Denver. they got to deal with the altitude. It's a loud crowd. Denver always shows out really well. Denver is down their starting quarterback, like we said earlier. Bo Nix did end up breaking a bone in his ankle on that last play.
Second to last play.
Second to last play. Sorry.
I mean, did you see that interview? Man, that's one tough guy. Hey, what's wrong? Oh, nothing. We need to fix some things. And then after the game is, he broke his ankle and he's out for the rest of the season. Like, oh man, that had to tickle.
Well, and it's like I said, like I have a lot of confidence in Jared Stidham. Stidham is a really good backup. And yes, he does not play a whole lot, mostly because Denver's always in really close games. They don't put their backup in. They don't get a lot of garbage time. They win games in the fourth quarter. They're 14-3. They finished the season 14-3. They've won, another game, so 15-3 now. They just never seem to win these games until the last couple minutes. It's always a nail biter. It's always right down to the wire, but they always seem to find a way to win. And I think
called the officials.
I honestly think it's more to do with that defense. You guys' defense keeps you in the game, and I feel like this game is going to be exactly like the Houston and New England game. It's not going to be the funnest thing to watch. You're not going to see a super high score. It's not going to be 30-33 like the Broncos Denver game. I feel like this game is going to be a really gritty game. 1st to 17 or 24 ends up winning this game.
Yeah,
like it's just going to be hard-nosed running of the football. We're going to have solid, good plays on the passing, but our defenses is what's really going to take this thing.
I also think, like you said, like the defense is what is really carrying this team in these tight games, but I also think it's the progression of Bo Nix as well. Bo Nix isn't making a lot of mistakes.
No.
He's playing good, not making a lot of mistakes, and when you combine that, it ends up in great performances because he's not I'm not going to say he's a great quarterback yet. He's still learning, he's still developing, but he's playing good to really good, and he's not making mistakes. That is a really good combination especially when you have a defense like that. Like that means we can win a lot of games and we can stack these games and we can go deep in the playoffs. Like, so to see him get hurt, it's crushing. I'm sure every Denver fan out there when they heard that news was just like, oh no, like this was our year, it felt like our year, but I still think like Denver fans don't get down. Stidham is a really good backup.
Well, I mean,
Stidham is fully
honestly,
capable
if there's a time that you want your backup to come in, this is the time. I mean, you've seen it before in the past. We've seen Nick Foles go on that magical run that the Eagles had. I've seen Case Keenum do it for the Vikings where he's gone out and balled.
Right.
I mean, it seems like that's what these backups are for. It's for these kind of situations, and you're talking about 2 games. You're talking about go for broke on the last 2 games of the season. You got a backup quarterback, and the great thing is, well, I mean, not so great for you guys as Broncos fans because Stidham used to play for the Patriots, but usually it also means there's not very much tape on this guy.
Right.
And it just opens up a little bit more avenues. So it's like, all right, you only got 1 game footage on this guy or 2 game footages, or here's a little bit of what he used to do in college, but you really don't know what he's doing with his team.
Exactly.
And I think this is going to be kind of an out-coaching match. I honestly believe this is going to come down to coaching at the end of the day. It's going to be Vrabel's coaching versus Peyton's coaching that's really going to settle this thing. I think it's going to be, like I said, a scrappy defensive fight. And I don't think either of these teams is going to get walked by any means. Unless,
not at all.
Unless the turnovers stack one way or the other.
Yeah, and I don't see that happening. I think this Patriots team is good. But the thing I think that is potentially gonna be an issue for New England is we did see Drake May make some mistakes.
Well, he had 8 fumbles this year in the regular season,
right?
And he's already had 6 in the postseason.
Like,
you're talking about balls that are bouncing his direction. Like if he turns the ball over and puts the ball on the turf, you're in Mile High. That air's thin, and it seems to split towards the Broncos every time they play the Patriots.
And that loud crowd, dude. That Denver is always, every time you watch a game on TV in Denver, you can hear. I mean, even the commentators mention it. Oh, it's so loud in here. It's super loud in here. It's hard to hear. And it's like, man, like that crowd just shows out every time, and that could get in a young guy's head.
Well,
like
and
that.
you're also going to have Drake May who's going to come into here. It's not, you don't have home field advantage now. You have the Broncos who have home field advantage, and that thin air. I mean, look at baseball. There's a reason the ball travels a little further.
Right.
If you're not careful when you're practicing or warming up, or you don't get there soon enough to figure it out, you might sell one of these balls into a defender, and next thing you know, this thing's out of control. But I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping these quarterbacks are professional. They're trained. They know what they're doing. They're going to get this thing figured out, and it's going to be a close, tight-knit game. I do think that mile-high altitude is going to play in Denver's favor in this game.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Andy? What do you see happening here?
I think it's going to be a pretty close game. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be won or lost in the trenches, I think.
Yeah.
Both quarterbacks got to take care of the football, obviously. That really sucks. Bo Nix going down, but like you said, Stidham's, he's a good backup. He's perfectly capable of. I mean, like you said, Nick Foles a few years ago.
Yep.
Took the Eagles and won the Super Bowl when Carson Wentz went down.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a very high scoring game. Probably 17-10 maybe, or 17-14, maybe even up into, let's say, like 24. But it's going to be a good game, I think.
Yeah, I think these are both going to be really good games. I think I don't see either of these games being decided by more than, like I said earlier, 10 to 17 points. I don't think. I really don't think. I mean, I think we got some really good matchups, dude. We've got Seattle versus LA, and just to touch on that real quick again, did we all take Seattle in that one?
We haven't chosen our picks yet.
Okay, we haven't
so
yet.
We have not gotten that.
So
far to be,
I think we've got. I think we've got the 4 best teams left, or not left. I think we've got the 4 best teams in the NFL this year. I don't think there's a team that can argue their way into this. I think, Chicago is right there. They lost last round.
Yep.
You made it as far as you made it.
Jacksonville, right there, but they lost to the Bills. I mean, you're talking about teams that, Ravens fan, we had our shot against the Steelers and wide right. Break my heart.
Right.
That's why I hate kickers. For that reason alone.
Well, he's a great kicker, but Justin Tucker was seasoned and a vet, but Tyler Loop, I'm looking forward to him. I mean, fans losing their brain on kickers because they miss a field goal, and
hey, it's part of the game.
Yeah, going and hunting after them and trying to give them death threats. I think you all need to pipe down. Like, these guys have lives, they have things going on. They could have had an injury. I mean, it's just a matter of he could have dug his foot in just wrong and kicked grass first, and then the ball hooks right. Like, it just happens. It is what it is. I mean, heck, you can even look at the Vikings. The only missed kick that guy had hit a wire that was apparently invisible and in our imaginations, boys. So
you remember when the Vikings played the Seahawks in the Gophers Stadium? Remember in that playoff game?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And 27-yard field goal. Shanks the living crap out of it.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Crazy.
Some days it's just not your day.
Yeah.
I mean, not every day that you get a kicker who's just got ice in his veins like Vinatieri, where he's going to kill the ball, like Gostkowski, who's going to kill the ball. I mean, you've seen it. Cam Little was killing balls all year, and then he missed the one right before half. Like, it just happens. Kickers are kickers. They're people. They have mistakes. Move on from it. It sucks when it happens and it's your team, but it just gives you a little bit more to build on. Like, you lose by that little field goal, there's always that what if in the back of your mind, but you always got next year with that little bit of optimism. Be happy for it.
All right. Let's get to who's going to go to Santa Clara, guys. Who's going to win on the NFC side? What's your guys' picks?
I'm going Seattle.
Seattle?
You going Seattle?
I'm going Seattle.
I'm going to pick the Rams.
All right.
I've picked against them all playoffs, so maybe I'm going to flip the magic.
Okay.
Because I really would like to see the Seahawks go, but I do think the Rams would be a really good story, and seeing Stafford do it, I mean, I could see them with that run game with Stafford there. I could see him pulling the upset out of the hat, and it's a division opponent. They know.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a weird game.
You look, they played each other very, very tight both games this season, and the last one just felt like Seattle survived them. And I just think this one might be the opposite way around, where it seems like the Rams just kind of have that magic. They survived the Panthers. They survived the Bears. Let's go into Seattle and survive them. I mean, I do think the Seattle Seahawks are the best team left, and I will not be surprised if they win, but I have to pick the Rams in this one.
All right, let's jump over to the AFC. Who you got, Andy? You got Denver and New England.
Honestly, this is a tough one for me. This could go either way. Honestly, I think I'm gonna have to probably go with New England.
Okay,
just because the Broncos they do have their backup quarterback in.
Yep,
but that's not to say that they can't pull it off.
Right.
Rooting for the 2-yard pick six there.
What about you, Trent? What do you got? Denver, New England.
I really, I want with all my heart to be able to pick Denver. I just don't know with Stidham if he's going to be able to have that magic. I mean, I've talked him up, and I know you guys are going to say I'm wishy-washy with this, but it's okay. I really like this Denver team. I do. I like Sean Payton. I like the defense. I like their offense. I just think that they keep making plays. But, and a big but here, the evil empire is back.
Yes.
Well, they're saying that J.K. Dobbins could be back for this game. I think that's a big plus for the Broncos, especially with Nix being out. If you can get your starting running back and you've got R.J. Harvey playing the way he's been playing, being a rookie guy, had to step into that starting role. He's played awesome, man, since he took over, with the Dobbins injury and stuff. R.J. Harvey has looked like a legit number one running back. He's a receiving threat. He's a running threat. He scores a lot of touchdowns. And to bring Dobbins back into that mix at this point in the season with your backup quarterback playing, that takes some pressure off now because our run game is solid again. We're back to what we were supposed to have. We have a double-headed monster now. I'm going to take Denver. I think Denver's going to rally behind Stidham. I think the city's going to rally behind him. I think the defense is going to rally behind him. I think every player on that offense, everything, I think they're going to step their game up because they know we could still do this. And what a story would it be? What kind of story would it be to go win this thing with our backup quarterback? I think Denver's going to end up winning this game. They're going to play Seattle. And I think Denver's going to beat Seattle in the Super Bowl.
So you think you're going to get your redemption?
I really do.
Who do you think you gets redemption out of your picks there, Andy? You think New England takes it again, or do you think they Seattle redeems themselves for throwing the ball instead of giving beast mode the ball 4 downs in a row and winning the Super Bowl?
I would hope Seattle gets their redemption over New England, but yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Seattle winning the title this year.
All right. What about you? You had
I
New
have the Patriots and the Rams. I think this is another Super Bowl matchup that's happened multiple times.
Hold up, he already announced it. The evil empire is
They
back.
are back. I'm doubling down on them. I think if you can survive this Houston team, I feel like it's inevitable. It's the Thanos snap. It's inevitable. Where did it lead?
Yeah,
right back to New England. Like, you couldn't handle the Chiefs being in this driver's seat so long. Where did it lead? Right back to New England.
Yep. Yeah.
And if Darnold would win a Super Bowl, that just puts him in he's a good quarterback.
There's no more questions after that.
You're right.
Everyone's doubted this guy. Everyone, made so much fun of him for, he's seeing ghosts. He's seeing ghosts. Of course he's seeing ghosts. He was playing for the New York Jets. I'd like to
just
see
when he's hired in, he was seeing ghosts.
Yeah.
Ghosts of Joe Namath, probably.
He saw so many ghosts playing for the New York Jets that Dante Moore decided to stay another year at Oregon because he's like, I ain't going to play for them. Are you kidding me? I want to have a career. Sam Darnold is a good quarterback.
And it makes me sick. The Vikings had him last year.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, with this New England team, I think they've been getting just body blow after body. Well, they didn't play anybody. I mean, who they played? They played the Bills, and that was the only real opposition that they had. You play who's on your schedule.
Yes.
And
I hate that argument. I
and
hate these
now
arguments.
that they've beaten the Chargers, who seem to be Sherbert, you play the best defense on the AFC side this year, which was the Texans, and you walk away from that winning it. I just feel like Drake May's going to find a way, Vrabel's going to find a way, and he's got those boys humming.
Yeah.
And I don't really care who comes out of the NFC. I feel like either way, New England has the advantage in this one because we're already playing with house money. We got a really good young nucleus. And not only that, but our head coach has been here, done that. He knows what he's doing, and he's going to keep them boys buzzing. He's going to have them firing on all cylinders. I think New England is just going to walk away with the Super Bowl this year. Not going to say like walk away like, oh, yeah, they're pulling Indiana over Oregon.
Right.
But I think just something about the evil empire. They find a way to get themselves in these close games and have a kicker kick it at the end and break everyone in America's heart, unless you're Eli Manning with apparently the curse breaker in your pocket or something.
Well, and Vrabel's a great coach. I mean, I think Tennessee really hurt themselves letting that guy go. They should have held on to him, but
what a boneheaded and a horrific fumble for them. You have a once-in-a-generation head coach, and now he's finally got a good offensive quarterback. Like, who'd you have? You had Tannehill, and he took him to the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
I mean, he took him to the AFC Championship game. Like, this guy, yeah, he had one bad season. Okay. Well, everyone's going to have a bad season. Look at the Chiefs. They just had a bad season. You see them firing Andy Reid.
Yeah,
you see
exactly.
him burning the boats. No, you see him going, it was a fluke. Moving on to the next season.
So you had Seattle versus New England. You had New England versus LA, and I have Denver versus Seattle. That's our picks. And we're jumping ahead. We'll get into this in the next episode. But you said Seattle's going to win the Super Bowl. You said New England. I said Denver. So we're all over the board here. We're all over the board.
Yeah.
No one knows what's going on. This is the best thing. Exactly.
This is going to be fun.
This is going to be great.
Enjoy the football. We've had a great season, a great playoff so far. It's been a weird season, don't get me wrong. But the playoffs have been spectacular, and I think we're in for some really good fireworks. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better college playoffs, and now you're going to get an even better NFL. They're just going to show you why the NFL is just that little bit more, the little cream above the crop, you know?
Yeah, it's going to be a fun rest of the playoffs. I mean, these are, like I said, these are the 4 best teams in the NFL, and rightfully so. They're where they're at. At this point, it's anyone's game, and I think we've got really good stories on each team, so it's going to be fun to watch. Make sure you guys check out our next episode. We'll be breaking down these games after they happen. We'll be giving our final Super Bowl picks because I think every one of us has picked a different team every time. So we're getting to the point where there's only going to be 2 more to pick. So if you guys are liking the content, make sure you subscribe. It helps us out a lot. Leave comments. Let us know your guys' picks. We love comments. Give us the hate comments. Give us the love comments. We like them all. And yeah, don't forget to check us out on our next episode when we preview the Super Bowl and do our review of the conference.
Let us know who you guys have winning the Super Bowl. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah. Tell us why we're wrong and who you think's going to do it. I mean, it's a good dialogue for all of us.
Heck yeah, it is. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for checking it out.
Peace.